Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is a reading video. I wanted to do a reading video during the day, but I fell asleep. Today I went into class. I go in one day a week, but the rest of it is online, and a lot of it you do have to do interactive things to contribute, like with the assignments and quizzes. And then there's an exam that I'm taking today. So I fell asleep earlier today. I woke up. I would have had a little more time to sleep, but I had to get an Uber today because both my parents have come back and they went to California to do their taxes, so that's a couple hours away. And I just I didn't want to use my car. Well, my car isn't registered here, and I wasn't going to use the other car because the other car is like my dad's car. So I guess I could use it, but it's more of like the special occasion car. And um, so I needed to make sure that I was out to get to the Uber. Um, and I got home. I made food. I made some sereniki because I was straining the cottage cheese the day before, and I'm happy that I made it. I love eating it. I woke up and there were some missing, but that's okay. Um, then I'll start pulling out the cards. Then I don't have to go in, and I have spring break until the 9th of next month. So, because the days change for the schedule, I wanted to make sure, hopefully, that I get this state's license because it's been a journey with that, and I don't want to weigh it all on just getting this license and then my life could be complete because I'm not trying to just weigh it on one thing. But I'm hoping that I gave everything. There, no matter like who knows about like the personal property tax on the car for the last state that I was in, literally people are just like, you shouldn't be paying that. Literally my dad was just like, don't pay for that. I'm like, I can't just not pay for this. Like they won't give me a license from another state unless I pay for this. Because he's lived in a couple states, more states than I have lived in, and he's never had to pay this before. So this was like a surprise. And because it's like a lot of money. Well, that last state was a lot of money in a lot of ways. Um, Nearly over 1,000 in taxes for it. So, um, we'll see. I don't want to make this like a stressful video too, because I want it to be, I, I feel like it'll be on the meaningful side and brighter side. I hope that it can translate in that way because there might be some stories that it could be in this video and they're not, well, it's archived from Adrian's memories and they're not good. So I'm hoping that people will see brighter things. I'm not worried about the exam tomorrow for the course. Mainly because, so I tried to, well, I do is what the requirements are in like the assignments and readings and all the things that you do. And so I want to maintain a high grade, and that's why I'm not like super worried about it. And like the practice exam was literally like questions from quizzes that we've taken over the past couple of weeks. So I'm not worried about it, even if it isn't like the questions from before. I feel like there's a lot of raw emotions, like emotions or people or a person that has like experienced a lot. And it's almost like how do you say it or how do you translate it? It's not like maybe the things that I mentioned, they're not necessarily things that you would say in conversation. It would be pretty specific. And these cards are coming up again. I just feel like they're extra validation cards for me for doing the Ukrainian readings. And for some reason, there might be a little bit of a theme that links to recovery. Um, some type of, it could be linked to memories too, and what it means to us and what we make of it, and maybe think about how we heal from certain things that we've gone through, maybe seen what the world has come to. Because there's a couple different like retrievals in my world. I tried to retrieve my Photobucket account because my phone keeps telling me how full it is, and now it's like having a hard time like even showing the most updated emails. And I didn't want to add more to like Apple, like, oh, Apple storage. So I was like, well, I have a Photobucket, and um, uh, I just thought it would be kind of fun to see what was like in little Adrian's world. Because I feel like there's stuff that still is or are things that I have fond memories of, like things that I loved. And I started it, it said like 2007. So they wanted me to verify an email that I used in 2007. And I tried to retrieve it, so I'll see how that goes because I sent like I don't know if it was like a request or like a help thing for it. Like I haven't used this email in a really long time. And this is just like a specific memory for me too. That I had these favorite earrings. And again, I feel like a lot of these stories I don't mention that much. Like I feel like my best friend knows a lot of stuff, but she doesn't know a lot of the stuff too because it's like, when do you fit this in a conversation? I mean, I guess you could just mention it. And I do mention things here and there, but I feel sometimes like people ask like basically what happened or why what happened throughout your life to have you in this certain place and um I kind of archived it and I just it's not like I dismissed it because these are things that I remember and I remember pretty well. So I remember my favorite earrings. They were just costume jewelry, but they were butterfly wings and they went on your lobe and it was a wing on each side. And I just love those earrings. And they got stolen at work. I know who's, well, I can't say for sure, but this person was known to steal stuff. And one day it was in my bag, the next day it wasn't in my bag. And I'm like, man, I really miss those earrings. And to this day, because this happened a long time ago, um, again with memories and then other things, because I've had a lot of things in life, or a lot of things that I've seen in life, and sometimes and I feel like a lot of people, that maybe you shouldn't have seen those things, or even heard those things, because this person, she was driving one of the other employees home, and I feel like the cops knew her license plate because they pulled her over. I'm not sure if anything else happened in terms of like why they got pulled over, but I, but the person that was driving was like freaking out and asked the other person if she could put her drugs in her bag, and the other person's like, no, you're not putting drugs in my bag. Um, because she was carrying heroin and I don't know if she's still in jail, but I remember I went there because I wasn't that associated with her either, but I was associated with somebody else, the one that had, um, she was like going out with a person that I feel like every twist and turn, there was always something that went haywire, and she was in jail too for a short while. But I think it was because of like a warrant for something, like a seatbelt ticket, and didn't go to court for it. And I saw the other person there because it was visiting hours. And I remember, I don't even know, like I don't know if she was just sitting on the ground or if I was sitting with her there. And I mean, did get out. I feel like one of the important things in life, and I'm not trying to like dictate how people should live their life, but um, if your actions or certain things make you something that maybe like deep down, you know for sure this isn't maybe how it's supposed to be in terms of like um doing things like for drugs or something. I know that's super drastic, and I have something that is part of the memory bank, not with me doing any drugs, but I was I had a lot of people that just were like, well, I had friends, and then they're like, yo, Adrian's like really cool. She can hang. And then they're like, okay. And so people would like give me addresses, and I just hang out with people like that. Because I wasn't really a planning person in terms of what to do. Like when we would hang out, I was kind of just like a person that um would go to these social things, but I wasn't like a partier or anything. It was just kind of chilled out. So the cards that I got, I'll start off with the Oracle cards. The two main ones that I was talking about in the beginning are Crystal Clear Intentions, Archangel Michael. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. And Indigo and Crystal Children, Archangel Metatron. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So this feels like extra validation, and almost as if keep trying and trying, because things can go in places and it'll be better and fulfilling, and you'll be so happy that you did it in the end. And again, not trying to like destroy who you are for something else. And I feel like I should say it because I feel like it might be misinterpreted, like I'm not trying to maybe um fight for a certain cause, and I don't want it to seem like that, because sometimes I feel like if I blurt something, some of these stories are just not um they're in the archives for a reason, and they haven't really left the archives in years because these are not stories that you necessarily want to hear. But I'll go with it because I don't want it to be as if um like holding back from it. So when I was talking about doing something to make, and then it changes you completely to like a person that you're not. Um, so the person that I was like friends with for a time, and she had a boyfriend, and then her boyfriend had like a friend or whatever, and his friend was on drugs too. And his friend was straight, and just to say, like, no matter what your orientation is, it's not trying to go against any, like, you could do whatever you want to do. Um, for this person, he really wanted drugs, and he went lengths to get the drugs. Now, I didn't know this person very well, but he had a drug dealer who wasn't of the same orientation. And to get the drugs, he let him do things to get the drugs. And that's why it's not just the only reason, but it's like one of those drastic things. It's you just think like to yourself, who am I and like how do I represent myself to the most that I do? Because I want to be who I want to be authentically, and I don't want to try to give that up again with whoever you are or whatever orientation you are. Um, it's like staying true to how you're how you are, um, like your soul is. So we also have breathe and creative writing. So I mean, that could have been like signs that this video would be a lot of places already. But it's breathe, Archangel Raphael. Take several deep breaths and exhale slowly to awaken your energy and to release old patterns. Then creative writing, Archangel Gabriel. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen, an article or book. Because they also make me feel that there's so much emotion there because maybe you're in pain, or if you're in the war, like people are depressed or wounded in a lot of ways, and you just think that like life, this is actually what life is right now. And I don't know if that maybe might have you question certain ideologies or things that are pure in the world and what the world has come to. But I am getting that there's something healing, which it's almost inviting energy because you have the Two of Cups with the Chariot card. And these, I don't know if I would call them olden tools that she's carrying. Um, for me, I would just think that those might be really heavy if you're carrying it on your shoulder and they're filled with water. But there could be emotions that are being carried that it seems like it's making a recovery, and that's what I think like the Chariot is going for. Because Chariot is also a water sign too. And I don't really mention this because, well, not that, but there's this card for the future, and it's the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, a lot of times I link Taurus to the Empress card and Libra to the Empress card. But Taurus is also linked to the Empress card. And Taurus is also linked to the Hierophant card. And it's what you kind of think, like it doesn't move. There's just like strong beliefs, strong ways of being that other people would have a hard time maybe to comprehend or to try to move in a way. They might try to move those boulders that you placed, and they might be special to you, and that somehow magically you're the only one because they're your boulders and you move them however freely you want to, but it's up to you. It could be a different type of strength that comes from the Hierophant card. And it can be aged wisdom too. And I feel like it can link to the indigo and crystal children. There's a lot of major arcana here because there's the Chariot, the Hierophant, the obstacle is the Emperor. And this has showed up. This isn't the first time this has shown up in the Emperor position or in the obstacle position. For some reason, I feel like there could have been like a mix up or misunderstanding or something that it made it so that there wasn't, it felt like there was a loss in some way. So it also feels like energy of like the wrong side having some type of power. And I feel that out of everything that has been happening, I'm going to link the justice to how to overcome the obstacle and in the past because it doesn't really forget the past and because it was kind of jumbled up here. Along with the Three of Cups, and I think that these are important together with the Major Arcana and Minor Arcana because it seems like it's energy that feels like it's on your side. Like this could be somebody that, like through and through, they give their support to you and it doesn't change no matter how many things they take away, um, or shellings they drop, or things that they try to destroy. There's a truthfulness to it that you get from the Justice card. Major Arcana linking to Libra. Then you have the Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles, the power of creativity, recognition for high quality work, be a team player. Ten of Air, the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now, recovering from an addiction. And again, the addiction or things that have come to that point um, may not have been things that you wanted to have on a mantle per se, but they were there because of maybe history. And history isn't something that we can erase. But again, with the healing from the Chariot and the Two of Cups, and I feel like the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Earth can link to the creative writing. There seems to be a way of getting to an audience that maybe another person hasn't tapped into that necessarily. Maybe like the underdogs win in a way. Because people have different definitions for everything. People have different definitions for power. And with the Justice card, I just feel in the how to overcome the obstacle and in the past position that there is a way and that people are more, I would say, like persistent and energetic to want to do these things rather than to fall under, sorry, under somebody that has a different definition for power that doesn't seem as clean as it should be. You have the Magician, Major Arcana, Archangel Raziel. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. And then the Page of Earth, Page of Pentacles. Scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. It does feel like it kind of an energy of turning a new page. And when I say new, it doesn't mean you get rid of everything that was in your life. And it's like when we move, sometimes we think that life is going to be completely different. Like it'll be instantly the opposite of what it was before. That I'm going to, this is just an example, like I'm gonna have a successful job if you weren't a person that had a lot of friends. That could be something. If you don't want a lot of friends, you might like try to look for meaningful um connections or something. Or if you're in a connection, you're like, we're just going to jump in and we're gonna have the best fucking life. Just go to the nines with it. And it's almost like the idea of like going into another dimension or like into another time because it's like moving a trailer that gets pushed over a little bit. Like you moved, but life didn't change that much unless, I mean, you could have switched jobs and it's a new environment, but things don't usually happen overnight. I, I feel like that would be the thing to say. So I feel like the Page of Earth, the Page of Pentacles, has that idea in mind. Um, but there's the overall energies, the other energies too, along with the Three of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Tower card. This is like an order of things, because with the Tower, then it looks like an institution, is it? Like a government type of building. I don't know what type of building that is. I know it's like a monument there, but um it does feel like there's renovations from within. But there seems like a forced change. Because I know the White House here, the White House is like where the president lives. And I have heard that it was outdated in some places. I feel like it's more to a fuller capacity where you can't really avoid those things that need to be updated anymore. Like it could be that at this point, like the ceiling is leaking if something, um, like a broken pipe or whatever. I don't really know the anatomy of a house, but it just feels like something changes. And also, what comes to mind is um, what America was built on, and it was built on slavery, and it didn't completely abolish the racism when we moved forward and we didn't have slaves anymore, and in a way anymore. Um, because there's still people that think that those certain things, and things definitely take time, but there's such an enthusiasm from the Emperor card and the justice energy of trying to make things right. It kind of gives ode to the past. And sorry, just like a little bit of pharmacy. Like, sometimes we talk about grains, and it links to how things used to be weighed with the grains, and using those types of systems. Those are kind of like our origin stories of how things came to light, and also the history and what it brought. What were the greatest discoveries, and even those downfalls when we think about medications and especially how expensive they are. Um, it's like those branded medication where the scientists failed X amount of times just to get this medication the way that it is put out there today. So that's a high cost for all those mistakes, but that's what we're paying for. The things that happened over time. But I feel that there's such a fulfilling energy, and I hope that it's being interpreted as that way, that things are improving in different areas. So I'm gonna put those here. So you have the Temperance card, Major Arcana, um, with the Three of Swords. There feels, like I said, there's a lot of emotion, and it kind of feels like the question is like, why is this again with some even questioning those certain foundations of themselves because of the catastrophes that have gone on for too long and shouldn't have happened to begin with. Um, I feel like the Hierophant tries to call us back, like a sheep and its shepherd. There just feels like there's difficulty here with the Three of Swords, but with the Temperance card, it's almost like it's trying to release the energy as something else, as if this is not what I want the world to be, this is not how I want it to be, this isn't how I want somebody else to feel. I feel like it can link to those types of relationship energies where um, maybe somebody is going through something in like internally and externally, and there is just that support that goes into it too. Because you do get stability with the Temperance card, and there is like a guidance, like a spiritual guidance or angel guidance and healing and patience that come from the Temperance card. And you have the Chariot again, and you have the Tower again. So both major arcana. These can be major things happening. And it kind of feels like energy of if things are like crumbling, you're trying to at least get out of the way into safety. There seems to be a safety net that comes with the Chariot because it is of angel guidance too, because it's an angel driving a chariot in the original, well, traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. And we do have the wheel, the angel that's shaped like the wheel, um, like biblically, and it has a lot of eyes too. And I feel like that could also represent the consciousness of it. But that could be directional, and it can also be linked to the justice. Um, because I believe that angel is also linked to those types of areas in our world. Is it the, I want to say it's the throne angel. Let me double check. So it's the throne, also known as the Ophanim and Galilean, creatures that function actual chariots that are driven by the cherubs. Symbolizing also omnipresence because of all the eyes. So, Ezekiel's vision of the chariot. So, there's different ones, but hopefully it's not too, well, something like this. Or another, and these are like the biblical type of descriptions for the angels, so it's not what you would normally hear. Or like something like this. So that's the chariot too. Guard the throne of God. Consider the class of angels along with cherubim and seraphim. Wheels with eyes. Presence and sovereignty symbolizing transcendence and omnipresence. Angel of knowledge. Telepathy, are able to contact heaven telepathically through angel radio, also have the minds of human souls, healing, can completely heal wounds humans possess. So maybe do more of those types of angels because it is interesting to me. So I'm gonna pull a couple more cards and then I'll end the reading. I feel like there might be like an overlook of things that could go well because there might be an energy of so much that goes on and things that are not as joyful in your life. You have both progression cards here. So the Six of Wands and the Six of Swords and air and fire. They work well together. And I feel like one can push the other because they definitely have energies where they kind of propel each other and enhance, and like this is energy that definitely goes together. Like it works extremely well. This could be with compatibility, like if you're in a relationship or you're connected with somebody, it feels that there's just such a bond there. Since I was saying telepathically too, there could be that connection that goes along with it. Um, it almost is, again, I'm not saying to, because I've said it in another reading, to not just like disregard communicating what you may be thinking or like um just things in the relationship that it's necessary to talk to each other, but it's knowing each other on different levels that it's actually impressive in a way because um there's just like that high knowing in that even when you don't say something, it's like you could give somebody the look or maybe not even look at them at all, and they can have that feeling. And then you have the King of Air, the King of Swords, brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, balance mental and emotional considerations. With the Nine of Water, the Nine of Cups. Your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. And I do feel like with it being professional and diplomatic, there's something that just wins fair and square. Like no matter what angle you look at it, and I feel like because the Justice card comes up in like multiple positions here, um, it's like no matter like how you're slicing it, it doesn't seem like it's going to falter. And especially with the Emperor too in the obstacle. Um, Maybe you knew that you were supposed to be doing this, but instead you're doing that because of how the cards, or not these cards, but just how the life circumstances were. Um, and even from other points of view too, because there's people behind the King of Air, King of Swords, that it just seems like no matter how other people can slice it, they could see or they can sense, um, like when injustice is there, like when it's so palpable that people are just like, it's not a taste that they want to have. Um, so the Nine of Cups just gives that confirmation with the Hierophant too, like the way that the cards ended, that, and with the Temperance, with the Three of Swords, it just is something, sorry, that will be gratifying in the way that you feel like after all this, it has like a relief to it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.